Welcome back. Great news today, AI filmmakers. The US government has ruled on AI filmmaking, and it's great news. I'm going to talk about the decision that was rendered this week by the US government, the report that was put out. I'm going to speak to it in high level and what that means for AI filmmakers. And then I'm going to go into some specifics of the report, so we'll get into some detail. It's going to be a short one, but packed with good information for us, and it's a great day to celebrate. All right, getting right into it, the US government ruled on AI filmmaking this week. Essentially what they ruled on was AI generated content, but it has specific implications for AI filmmakers and AI creatives and AI artists in general, writers as well, image generation. All of that is influenced by this report, but I'm specifically focusing on the AI filmmaking portion of it because there are certain lines in the report that specifically make clear what is authorized for copyright and what is not authorized for copyright. Smash that subscribe button if you're enjoying this content, you're getting value out of it. So let's dive into it. The way you can find this information yourself is Google. Google's still a great source of doing this, although like lately, I do search a lot of things through ChatGPT first. I would say ChatGPT is really my 95% go-to for looking things up because of its ability to search. But for a video like this, I know that Google is kind of globally recognized, so I kind of use it for that. But let's say US government rules on filmmaking, just so that you're able to kind of find this stuff yourself. And the way I did it was I kind of scrolled down, I saw some articles were going on it, and I got to it through so there's a Euronews article on it, but the one that I actually found was this one from VentureBeat, which came up. And spoiler alert, the US Copyright Office says AI generated content can be used for copyright if a human contributes to or edits it. This is a pretty big deal. It's very important to understand what this means for your rights, but it's great news because the bottom line of it is what the US government is saying is that you may generate AI content, and those specific images or video clips that are AI generated on their own are not copyrightable as single units of creativity, right? Because they're fully AI generated. But as long as they are put into the sequence, like as we do when we're filmmaking, we have these different clips, we put it into a sequence in order to tell that story. We underlay music, we add vocals, we add dialogue, whatever we add. And that output of what we've humanly put together, which is what we call a film or a movie, that is copyrightable. And so that's really huge news for us, because if something is copyrightable, it means that it can't be just taken, and it means that it provides a way for you to be able to earn a living based on that. So that's why this is a pretty big deal. And here, the new document is the copyright on an artificial intelligence. So, if you were to just open that in a document, then you'd be able to see this, right? This is the copyright and artificial intelligence report. This is directly from the website copyright.gov. So this is a government-run website. So you can, this is something that is approved by the US government on this. And this is where you can read on your own, and you don't have to if you don't want to get it secondhand through a video, or trust me, or trust any other videos, or just trust what somebody says in an article. You can go straight to the horse's mouth, as it were, and go to the actual document that was published earlier this week, right here, January 2025, right? So you can see that is the information on that. And scrolling down, we're not going to go through all of it in detail. I'm just going to help you out by kind of going to the most important parts. So as you can see here in the table of contents, this document deals with technology and copyright, the AI initiative, technological background, legal framework, assistive uses of AI systems, right? Because basically what they're saying is, as long as you're using AI to assist, then you're basically in a situation where you would be, they're not wanting to, the thing is, try to understand the reason. The reason for the Copyright Office is to provide protections for creative works that people are making. And it's supposed to create a pathway for you to be able to benefit from those works and make a financial remuneration. And so, people realize that if there's no copyright protection at all, you could put all this effort into making something, and then somebody else could just take it from you and profit. So what the idea is that would depress the motivation to create something that is really let's say elaborate or creative or intricate, because you would know that there's no way to really to make money. So then you would sort of it would depress the motivation of the general populace. So the idea of having copyright is that, if you put effort into something that has a creative value and can generate income for you, that it's worth the effort, because you have some protection, right, for the basically your life plus 70 years. We can get into that in a whole different thing about the time frames and all of that and how Disney influenced that. But that's neither here nor there. That's the way the ruling is. So so their stance on that is basically, as long as AI is helping in that mission, which is to further people's creativity and allow people to want to create stuff, they do want to be able to protect that, so long there is a significantly and recognizable human input. That's the real deciding factor in this. So that's kind of the summary of what you're going to see if you were to dive into this document, and I'm just kind of highlighting it for you. So as you can see here in the executive summary, it just talks about what all is being addressed, the copyrightability issues, the history of adapting copyright law gets addressed, but it does go into some very specifics, which we'll take a quick look at. But right here is a really important part in the summary that is the ruling, kind of summarizing the ruling that's really important to us. So, right, there's no need for legislative change. They don't feel like new laws need to be written. They feel like existing copyright law already covers it. The use of AI tools to assist rather than stand in does not affect the availability of copyright. Copyright protects the original expression of the work created by a human author, even if the work also includes AI-generated material. That's the big one, right? You're created by a human author, even if the work also includes AI-generated material. There are a lot of people out there who have really been kind of pounding the pavement against AI, and we knew this ruling was coming. We knew this was coming because we knew that the office's stance, based on cases that have happened before, when they had that comic book where they basically said the individual images were copyrightable, but were not copyrightable, but the comic book as an overall collection was. Those are some of the precedents that kind of have set the groundwork for this paper that came out from them. Copyright does not extend to purely AI-generated material or material where there is insufficient human control over the expressive elements. So essentially, they're not going to copyright something from just a prompt. Like if you just do a prompt and then you get an output from AI, and that output by itself is not copyrightable. If at some point, which there will be a point very soon, that AI will probably be able to generate an entire feature film or short film or whatever just off the basis of a prompt, those outputs would not be copyrightable under the guidelines that are being set up here. These guidelines are expressly covering if you are getting, for example, I'll give a good example, which is like the movie that I'm making right now, Hunt. Some of you have been watch me, write the screenplay together with ChatGPT, and you've been watching me put out these clips related to it, and you're gonna follow my entire journey as I create this feature film using the assistance of AI and my own human ingenuity and creativity. The way I'm doing that film is I'm generating shots in Midjourney. I'm using those shots to generate clips in Kling or Runway or wherever else. I do a lot of editing of the actual shots in something like a Photoshop or whatever. I do some compositing to put some shots together to get things the way I want. then I generate more clips, then I might rerun those back through Midjourney or through something else or whatever. And then ultimately I move it into something like a DaVinci Resolve, and I go ahead and then I edit the film together. So that approach that I'm taking will result in films that are copyrightable under the laws just released this week and verified this week, confirmed by the US Copyright Office in this document. The films that I make using that approach, which is the approach which I will continue to use, are copyrightable under US law. That is what the ruling says, because I have already put significant input in the way I'm collating these clips and putting them there. The fact that I'm editing the movie into a coherent piece that is telling the story that I want to tell, and you're adding things like sound design, doing color correction, maybe adding visual effects, doing compositing and adding different movement and images and different things around them. All that stuff is a lot of human effort and a lot of human input that is in the final result. AI didn't determine, let's say, the series of how the images should go in order to tell the story. I'm determining that. And so that is the reason that AI films are copyrightable under this new ruling, just to be super duper clear. Whether human contributions to AI generated inputs are sufficient to constitute authorship must be analyzed on a case by case basis. So of course you're going to want to keep any kind of documentation you have of your human input. Like I guess if you have your edit timeline in DaVinci Resolve or whatever like that, and you want to pull that up and show that it was edited in that way and show that that was a manual thing and that was not, something that just AI just put to get slapped together for you. That's going to really be the thing. They're basically just saying they're not going to copyright works that are like push button AI generated, right? Which none of us true AI creators are doing. Like AI filmmakers are not doing that, right? All the AI filmmakers that, when I talk about AI filmmakers, I'm talking about people who are putting projects together pretty much similarly the way it's always been done in traditional filmmaking, except that the way we get our clips is not by going out there with a camera and filming, whatever. We're actually generating those shots digitally using AI and then editing that into making a movie. That's the difference. But everything else is still all the manual stuff that we always do with traditional filmmaking. Still have to get in DaVinci Resolve or Adobe Premiere or Avid or whatever you like, Final Cut, whatever you like to edit in, CapCut, whatever it may be, iMovie, whatever, right? You still have to edit it. You still have to put it together. You still have to make all the decisions to make that thing into a final output that is an expression of the story that you're trying to tell, or idea that you're trying to express. If it's a video or something like that, that's not necessarily a narrative. It's still a human input that is creating that. And that is the running theme if you look at this document. So let's see what else is just important that I should highlight for you real quick. Yeah, human authors are entitled to copyright in their works of authorship that are perceptible in AI generated outputs, as well as the creative selection. So this kind of goes to the idea of, so a lot of tools, of these AI generative tools, you may generate an image just from a prompt, and basically Copyright Office is saying that's not good enough. But you may actually generate through sketching, for example. I do that sometimes, where I may sketch some parts of the image and then use that to drive my Midjourney image, and then that composition and items. So anything what they're saying is like that's recognizable in the AI generated output, as is really obvious that I chose that composition, I chose that direction and those lines and the shapes and how things were put together. Then we will likely be crossing over into even the single image itself being copyrightable. So let's move on real quick. I'm not going into all the detail. The part that I think I want to share is from let's go to the table of contents here. And the part I want to share that's specifically related to filmmakers is section F here, modifying or arranging AI generated content, right? So that's on page 24. So this is the part that's more so related to what I was saying about the collating of the films. So if you go here, so you got AI generated content, and you generate, I'm just gonna read it. Generating content with AI is often an initial or intermediate step, and human authorship may be added in the final product. As explained in the AI registration guidance, a human may select or arrange AI generated material in a sufficiently creative way that the resulting work as a whole constitutes an original work of authorship. And so this is specifically what I was telling you about the editing of the clips to make the feature film. That is what's creating the final product, not the AI, right? It's a human making those choices to edit it and put the things in a certain way. Similarly to a graphic novel or a comic, where the images might have been generated by AI, but a human is choosing how to arrange those images on a page and in sequence to tell a story. That is copyrightable. That is what they're saying here. So as several commenters noted, human authors should be able to claim copyright if they select, coordinate, and arrange AI generated material in a creative way. This would provide protection for the output as a whole, although not the AI generated material alone. So that goes back into what I say, like the individual clip itself may not be copyrightable, but the entire film as a whole is copyrightable, right? So that really just covers that. Just see if there's anything else here worth looking at. So this is related to the office finds the compilation of these images and text of the work contains sufficient creativity to be protected by copyright. So they're just giving examples of where people are collecting the images into an arrangement or a collection that is the overall thing is copyrightable. And they do again, it's just kind of like repeating and clarifying the whole idea about this. It goes into examples of generating images, selecting and upscaling the image, using the freehand edit tool to select a region, right? As we know, generate images within the prompt, select and upscale the image, and then the image is further modified by repeating the editing process. Basically what they're saying is, that in-painting that you're doing and whatever, does allow users to exert control over the selection, arrangement, and content of the final output. So it's like, basically that's saying that part is copyrightable. So if you're going into Midjourney and you're in painting and you're changing elements, as you can see here, right? You're having control over the placement of the images in significant enough of a way for it to warrant copyright, as you can see in this progression here, right? You're controlling that output. You can see here they use Midjourney. They talked about the remix tool, Vary Region and Remix, which you all know that's basically like how you in paint, right? There's a canvas. They talk about all that. So I think that's, for example, a film that includes AI generated special effects background art is copyrighted. We kind of know that even if the specific AI effects or specific artwork separately are not. So again, it's just reiterating what was said. So anyway, that's pretty much it. I just wanted to give that highlight. It's a really big update. It's a really happy time. Celebrate if you're somewhere and you, however you celebrating about that, and you're an AI filmmaker, do the celebration in the way you do it, because this is pretty big news. And the fact that it's like put out into the report, who knows if this will change years down the road or whatever. But for right now, and for probably for the foreseeable future, because the U.S. Copyright Office does not, make changes that fast. The fact that they put this out in a report means it's probably going to stay that way for quite some time. So go at it, go make your films, and go ply your trade and earn a living, because that you absolutely can copyright your works, and it's a good day. So thanks for being here. I hope this helped to clarify some of that, and I hope makes your mind rest easy as you're putting a lot of effort into creating these things, to know that at least if you're from the U.S. and you're making stuff in the U.S., the U.S. government has your back. and I'm pretty happy that this decision went this way. Although I pretty much knew it was going to go this way because it is common sense or whatever, if you really think about it. But obviously, common sense, not everybody has the same perspective on that. But it is good to see that the U.S. Copyright Office seems to have really done their homework and gone into it and then figured out the thing that makes the most sense, which is they are getting the understanding that most of these AI projects really aren't just push button projects, right? They really are still humans getting in there and taking a lot of effort and control, exerting a lot of effort and control over the image and over the final output. And so this is great to see that the U.S. government recognizes that in the form of copyright, and so we will be able to have copyright protections for the AI films that we make. So glad to see you here. See you in the next video. Yeah, I forgot to add, smash that subscribe button if you're enjoying this content and you're getting value out of it. Leave questions in the comments and I will address anything that is discussed, or if you just have ideas about it, let's go at it in the comments. Fight me if you don't like the ruling. Whatever, it doesn't matter to me. I just want to spread the news, talk about it. That's what the comments are for. And I'll see you in the comments and in the next video. Smash, 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 smash. Smash the like button. Smash, 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 smash. Smash subscribe. See you next time.